Defending Our Property, produced by CARD, Citizen Association for Rights and Dignity, www.changeforjanesville.com. card@changeforjanesville.com is our email address. 608-754-3999 in the USA. Dedicated to the 200 to 300 persons in Janesville, Wisconsin who have thus far lost their homes and buildings between 1986 and the year 2007, taken by the Code Department without just compensation or due process, without receiving fair market value, and they were sent the bulldozer bill. Have you heard about the decision by the Supreme Court called the Kelo decision, where our Supreme Court justices decided that it was perfectly okay for wealthy people and the city officials to force you to sell your home to another private owner, a developer, because that person would bulldoze your home and put up something more expensive so that they could up the tax base. And we're not talking a school or a highway, we're talking the mall. We're talking about another Walmart. Well, Janesville, Wisconsin has taken it one step further. Rather than forcing you to sell your home when it's in the path where they want to bulldoze it and put something else up, they've come up with one better. They send in the Code Department with a couple of strategies. One is, oh, your Victorian house isn't up to new construction code criteria. Too bad it's structurally sound anyway. Too bad you just put a new roof on it. You've got 1 hour to vacate the property. This police officer with a loaded gun will stand here for an hour while you pack your personal belongings. If this house has not been bulldozed by you in the next 30 days, we, the city, will trespass and bulldoze the house and send you the bill. And by the way, you might want to know that we already, the city, have informed your bank, your mortgage holder, that the collateral, your home, is going to be missing. And so your mortgage is in foreclosure now, so you probably need a bankruptcy attorney. And we already slandered your title at the courthouse without going to court, and we made a fake Liz Pendants made by city employees, and we have informed your homeowners insurance that the house is going to be missing, so they've dropped your coverage and it's no longer covered. So when you get the bulldozer bill, because we'll double bill you, and you can't afford to pay it because you're in bankruptcy and in foreclosure and homeless and looking for a place to live, I guess you won't be suing the city of Janesville in a court of law, because you won't have the $50,000 to $90,000 for a retainer fee to find an attorney with the skills and the willingness to fight a city municipality in a circuit court of law with a blank check from the taxpayers. How do we defend our property? How did this happen? Why would a police officer stand there with his hand on a gun evicting good people from a lovely home? We're going to answer these questions. I'm the whistleblower. When they tried to take my barn with the same way, I was the one that brought it to public. The code inspector actually said, are you going to sue the city over a barn, Andrea? We're the city. This is what we do. There's nothing you can do to stop us. Now that's the arrogance. What do? Load a gun, chain yourself to the building? Pretty much in Janesville, Wisconsin, that is the only thing that would effectively work. Here's my carriage barn. This is the invasion by 28 armed police officers and city employees who would have been fired had they not come onto the property and taken it during a civil disputed matter. This is me being arrested for going onto my property. They did not have a restraining order or a search warrant, nor did they have a contempt action. This is my adult son being arrested. He's a school teacher at the local grade school. This is the document that the city employees file at the courthouse. They call it a condemnation order, but they are not paying fair market value. So it's not condemnation, it's city invasion violation. To replace the barn would cost $16,000. To replicate the barn, $32,000. The appraisal on the barn was $20,000. The cost to me, if I was to raise it, $3,200. The cost to repair it, for me, about $350 for my brother replacing the roof. This document is a form letter based on math. They said the tax assessed value is $400 if repairs exceeded or could exceed or did exceed $360. They would raise the barn because that's their definition of dilapidated. An appraiser said it was structurally sound. An engineer said it was structurally sound. An architect, they didn't care. $346.97 to repair a building. that exceeds their math, so they define it as a public nuisance, determined to be structurally unsound. Their excuse to trespass, bulldoze, and send a bill. Another victim, Mary Ale, giving a kiss to her adult daughter. Her home was taken right here after a new roof, after new windows. The tag is still on the windows. She spent more than the city allowed. Here's the condemnation, the fake condemnation. The city's saying that if repairs did or could exceed $21,859, they were going to demolish her home. Her home in 2000 was appraised at $51,000. The fair market value $65,000. Her mortgage balance $40,000. The tax assessed value, only $38,200. The repairs prior to the demolition $30,000. The repairs were almost completed. They sent her a bill for demolishing her repaired home. Here are the grandchildren that had Christmas in Nana's house every year until the city code inspector decided he was going to confiscate it for the new redevelopment project. These 3 siblings lost their home, given to them by their parents. City did the same thing. Tags on the windows as well for being brand new. Here's their fake condemnation order. Appraisal in 2000, $65,000. Mortgage, $60,000. Tax assessment, $36,000. Not allowed to repair over $19,175, but they found and got a bid for $18,000, and they got approval for a loan. The city trespassed and bulldozed their home anyway. 3 more homes taken because the cost of repairs could exceed a formula. Mazako, an investor in town, had 3 homes bulldozed by the city with the bill sent to her. She had no idea how they thought they could get away with it, but she didn't have the money to fight it. She took a tax write-off. Why doesn't the bank holding the mortgage protect these people? Well, it's only a $40,000 loan, and if they're nice to the city, they'll get the $4 million contract for the redevelopment, construction of the new condos on the river in the affordable housing neighborhood. Why don't the city council members protect these people? Because they're elected at large from the east side where the fat cats live, and they're contractors, and they're waiting for the contracts from the city manager for the redevelopment program. They don't live in the neighborhood, and they're not elected from the neighborhood. Why do the police officers and the city employees comply with an invasion of a property during a civil disputed matter? Because the citizen board that's supposed to protect them is hand-chosen illegally by the city manager. So these handful of citizens are going to rubber stamp whatever the city manager says. He lies to them, they don't know what their rights are, and they don't know how to protect our city employees so that they can be ethical and have integrity and not go along with unethical orders. We're going to make some changes. We're going to get alderman representation for each of our 4 neighborhoods, and we're going to get a citizen nomination committee to choose the citizen people that are on the boards that protect and oversee our employees and our government. We're going to get our ballots hand counted so they can't gerrymander our computer when it's vote day. And we may need to get 200 pissed off citizens at a city council meeting willing and ready to take a $50 disorderly conduct ticket and then plead not guilty to it and ask for a jury trial so that we stop our court system until they decide, the city, that they're going to pay restitution to these people who they made homeless. Help us take back our property, our neighborhoods, our community, and our country. Help us put democracy back into our local political system. Help us to protect citizens from bureaucratic abuse of authority. Let's get our government back online. Help us do that at changeforjanesville.com. Please contact us. Please check out our website. Thank you. And vote every time there's an election, even if your vote is not currently counted.